Just to get out of the way, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment if you can. When a show like this comes out, lots of people are going to be running just to get their video out there so people can see it. And for a really good reason. This show has its ups and downs, it's really dramatic, really hype, and has tons of suspenseful scenes. Our main character Usagi was going to win a game so he can go to nationals, but then, fuck, he loses it all. Because being on a good soccer team means you can pass it to your team players. It's a tie between the two teams, and he passes it. The guy misses, and it bounces all the way to the other team, and boom, they're done. They lose. Everyone's crying. The coach is crying, Usagi's crying, the team's crying, I'm crying. Didn't expect that. This guy's so relatable. He has the dream of being the biggest, and for him to be the biggest, he can't lose. But this guy needs to fucking chill, because he's only a second year in high school. He has a ton of time left. So he goes home and he feels like complete shit, and his parents tell him that he has mail. Just so I know, do you call it football or soccer? Leave a comment down below. So he gets a letter from the football association saying that he should come to our building. Luckily, he's not the only one. The guy who scored on him is also there. So basically, it's a soccer school that's similar to Sword Art Online and Food Wars. There's a guy who acts almost exactly like Akihiko Kaiba, and the stakes in the game is two things. One, you can't leave the game. And two, if you leave the game, you're banned of any soccer tournament in Japan. Well, they could always just go to another country, right? Since they're really good at the game. So the promoter's being an asshole, and he says, if you don't join the school, you're probably not going to be the best in the world. Well, one, how many fucking anime debuff that statement? And two, did you see this guy's eyes? They're fucking crazy. But he's not the only one. Once he gets into the school, spoilers, there's a ton of people who have the same crazy eyes. Maybe it just means passion, right? So being horny for the action, a fuck ton of these kids start running towards the buses like if the world's an end or something. I could tell if you're into males and like soccer, this is the best thing. I say this because right when they get to school, there's a dude who takes off his shirt and he's jacked. Then you have a guy who is so tired that when he sleeps, he puts his thumb into his mouth. If that's not your type, then there's the Connie Springer monk type, etc, etc. So this is a pretty good show if you're into that. But even if you're not, this is a great soccer anime. So they get into the school, and the first thing that they say is the number on your shirt is the ranking you have at the school. And of course, the main character's ranking is second to last. Then the first mission starts. There's going to be 2 minutes on the clock, and the last person who's it at the last minute is out of the school. So you know that this is going to be a really tough game. Almost fight for your life type situation. And who gets picked for it? The Connie Springer guy. His family told him that he has to run the business, and that's not a plan that he wants to do. So he has to win this to run away. Oh, and he's 300, so he's the worst one out of the whole group. He starts going for a ton of people, but he just can't seem to hit them with the soccer ball. So he goes for the low-hanging fruit, which is the sleepy guy. Wrong choice. This fucking guy knows karate for some reason. So the monk guy decides to go for the big bully guy. That fucking guy goes for the main character's stomach, and now he's it. So Usagi can just go and get the monk guy out again, or he can go for a higher stake. And which one do you think he takes? Surprisingly, not that guy. He goes for the stronger player, and it's the guy who scored on him at the beginning. In his head, he's remembering the scene where the guy scores on him, and also the time that he left the school crying, and he's like, fuck. He gives him those crazy eyes, and gets him out. Fuck yeah. I know revenge is bad, but sometimes it's just really sweet. All in all, this anime has really good animation and a pretty good story. I've never seen an anime where it's football or soccer where it's kind of like a death game. And I've never seen the main character knock out the person that he wants in the first episode. Well, I don't know if he did or not, but it seems like he did, unless they do some bullshit where they keep the guy because, one, people probably like this kid, and they need a really cool, exciting rival for the main character so he doesn't lose hope. As long as it's not that, then I'm good. I'm ready to binge the show. The negative and the positive stuff about the show is the positives. It's very shonen, very action, and there's a lot of emotion. And if you like crazy people trying to knock each other out in arenas while seeing a bunch of these kids sweat, then this is the show for you. The negatives of the show, I would say, is if you expect some type of girl to show up, there might be like one, because that's all sports anime. But if you think it's going to be many girls, no, this is mostly high school boys. Also, if you think it's going to be a very intense soccer game with the rules actually matter, then this is not the show for you. Okay, that's it. Hopefully, I helped you decide whether to watch it or not. Alright, peace.